Hey everybody, good morning. How's it going? Just checking in from my home office here, as I assume most of you have adopted your own home office atmospheres, which is a bit of getting used to, and there's certainly the opportunity for a lot of distraction, but it sounds like the majority of us are understanding that this is kind of the new operating system that we're going to have for at least the next couple of weeks, and it could be a mild version of what our future looks like, at least for a while. So, I just wanted to kind of touch in for a moment and kind of give you my take. We were having some team meetings the other day, and we were challenged by our leaders to kind of give and broadcast our take as real estate professionals, as individuals, as fathers, as husbands. It could be mothers and wives. About kind of what's going on and what our take is with this whole thing. So here's my couple minutes worth, and bear with me. I tend to be a little bit lengthy and windy when it comes to my explanations because I'm a thinker and I'm an outward processor. So a lot of times you'll see me talk with my hands or maybe running in circles in terms of my explanation, but I'll try to keep it brief. But there's basically two takeaways I've got here over the last couple of weeks as we've kind of settled in. I think week one was like shock and awe of lockdown. Was what is this all about? How long is this going to be? We thought we could have some answers in terms of what those, how long we're going to be doing this. But I think that's probably even still almost 3 weeks in, there's not a lot of clarity as to how long. It's unrealistic as to how long it's gonna be, and what is that new normal going to be? Is it going to be the same? Are we gonna go back to the same like it never happened? Probably not. It's going to be definition is refined, and it's going to be something different and something new. We may have partial jobs that found out, hey, we can save money here by contracting our workforce. We can have people work from home. We can have them do some days in the office, some days from home. We could pay people less by chance if we require them less and we do more meetings. So, I think that begs the question, are you ready for that? Am I ready for that? Are we ready for that? What this new reality, technology sometimes gets a good rap and sometimes gets a bad rap. And bad rap can be you're on your phones too much. We're not engaging in interpersonal relationships enough. But what this has shown us is that technology actually can win, and it can win in a way that might have businesses start to understand. Wow, I can do a lot more. People are now accustomed to these Zoom meetings. We can hire from all over the world versus having to hire within our own local demographic. It really is, I think, can start to spawn a whole lot of potential. And some of that potential can be great in terms of change. Some of that potential can be not so great in terms of change. And I guess it begs the question, where are you? I'm learning that we're going to have to really keep my self-accountability high, because the meetings that I would normally have in office are no longer. Now, our branch and our office decided to do every day 10:30 Zoom calls. So we all know that there's an emphasis to get together and share ideas and brainstorm. But that's because our leader made that accountable. But it's still up to me to check in, to get my workouts done, myself showered, do some morning work, some private work going on, and then get ready for 10:30. And 10:30 sounds like late in the day, but where I was used to waking up at 5 or 4 in the morning, I'm not waking up till 6 or 7 in the morning now. So my window has shrunk, but I've had to go back and reanalyze my daily method of operation and get up earlier again so I can get some things done. Then I can get the kids ready, get them going, understand that dad's office is kind of amongst the living room here, so we don't really have a home office here. My wife does Zoom calls upstairs, I do Zoom calls downstairs, my daughter does Zoom calls from her online schooling in her bedroom, so we're all adapting. My 5-year-old's just whatever, playing video games, running around, but it's different, and what we'll have to kind of ask ourselves is, are we ready for this to be part of our new normal? Could it be our new normal, or could this be a version of our new normal? More likely it's a version of, because it's going to reset and we're going to have some newness. We're going to go back into the workforce, but it might look different. It might feel different. So one thing that our leaders and a couple of people in our office, Stephen and Morgan and a couple of others, have recommended, that it's, the point one I want to make today is that I think this is a way of thinking that maybe it's old school in terms of we've kind of got away from it, but it's new school in terms of we're coming back to it, but it's under a different scope, different context. It's maybe think about others first. Think about others first. A couple of the agents in our office, and I think it's a good exercise, is they pretend that they've got the coronavirus. I've got it. I don't want to give it to someone else. So how can I go about not giving it to someone else? I wash my hands regularly, which again, there's some jokes and funny memes going on around about that, but I wash my hands regularly, maybe more often than regularly for a while. And I keep my social distancing to a respectful limit. Right now there's some certainties to that: 6 feet away from each other, not congregates in group more than 10, but what does that look like 3 months from now? Should we still be social distancing to some degree or another? Might we be forced to do that by our employers via, them telling us, hey, we'd rather you work from home this amount of time or not? There's some considerations to be made, but if you pretend as though you have it or you've had it and then you don't want to get it again, okay, that's probably going to start to check a lot of boxes anyway. So my point is maybe we think about others again first. We hold the door for people so they don't have to touch it, especially if we know that it's an older person. We don't want them to contract it, so the less they touch things, the lesser their chance. So if I'm being precautionary, I hold the door. I keep my distance from people. I watch my social distancing, not to be rude, but also to be conscious of what if I have it? I don't want to be responsible for giving it to someone else. And I certainly don't want to be someone who doesn't have it, contracts it from someone else, and brings it home to my family. Okay. So we all understand that there's the likelihood that this thing starts to fizzle out a little bit. We get the vaccines in order, that kind of stuff. And then it becomes to start to feel a little bit more like flu season. But I think we're a ways out from that. So until then, how are you going to operate? I'm going to operate and think of other people more than I already do. That's my goal, is to think of other people more than I already do. I guess the other point I take away from this is, are you ready for what's next? So this kind of caught us with our pants down. This whole thing, exposed the individuals, much like myself, who maybe don't have the proper experience or education in how to hunt, gather, kill, harvest, canned goods, can your own vegetables, grow your own vegetables, that kind of stuff. No one's going full doomsday prepper here. I don't think that's the point. But a mild version of that might be something worth considering. So plan for your future. And if something like this, not necessarily a virus or a disease, but if it's a market crash or something like else, dictates our operating circumstances, do you have 3 or 6 months of saved expenses set aside? Do you have a safe place that you can go to be, shelter if you have to? Do you have the ability to hunt, gather, kill, and field dress, meats? And do you have a secondary freezer that you can store it in? Do you canned goods? Do you do those things that might result in getting through a blimp in time where you can survive? And you don't feel like you have to make a mad rush for toilet paper or the freezer section. Okay, maybe you've already frozen your own stuff and you know how to do all that. We don't. So it's really allowed me to understand that we haven't really been prepping for anything. And I watched the Bill Gates TED Talk. Thanks, Tommy Ryan, for telling me to watch that, from 2018. And he called it. And no one listened. So I think it's important for us to take notes of this whole thing. How is this impacting you? And what are some takeaways you can get from it as we're now into week 3, almost week 4 of lockdown here in Kansas City, Missouri? I've been out. I'm the only one in my family that goes out. I'm the only one that goes grocery shopping. I take extreme precaution when I do that. Again, under the mindset I already have. I don't have it, but under the mindset that I have it, I don't want to give it to someone else. Okay, and more than likely I would just stay home. But I'm just saying, in terms of being cautious of others, we've made a lot of changes already, and we're adapting to this whole thing. So, guys, I advocate that you take inventory of your life, take inventory of what's important to you, use this time to be productive in ways that maybe are job related, but it could be marriage related, relationship related, with your kids, with your family. And even though we're having to do it digitally or from a Zoom call from time to time, it's better than nothing. And we've got the time right now to reinvest in that process, to reinvest in those energies and those relationships. So, again, same thing for me today was be mindful of others more so than ever before. And then how am I getting ready for next time? How will I not get caught with my pants down for next time? So that's all I'll keep with you today, just under 10 minutes. So thanks for watching. If you watched me all the way through, I love you all. And I look forward to chatting with you guys. If you have any thoughts that this promoted for you, feel free to message me. If you have questions, or if you can relate with not having much of a home office and you're having to kind of deal with the craziness, I'd love to hear your comments, maybe schedule a chat with you and talk about creative ways to overcome all those things. So hope you guys are doing great, staying a little bit sane out there, but also getting your push-ups in out there on those home workouts. You guys have a great day and be safe. Have a great weekend. Bye.